Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today I have a requested video from you guys. Actually, a few different people out there requested this one. It is my 10 favorite fragrances from DS and Durga, and I'm not going to include any discontinued fragrances in this one. DS and Durga have a lot of fragrances that are discontinued. Some of them are nearly impossible to find. Other ones maybe you could find here or there, but not going to include any of those. So today, just fragrances you can still find easily. And I actually have a little sample set of the 10 fragrances that I'm going to be talking about here today. I own full bottles of some of these. Some of them I don't own full bottles yet, but I will be getting them in the future. I went ahead and got a sample set of every single fragrance that they have right now. These are my 10 favorites, and I'm actually going to give this away to one of you guys. So let's jump into this. Let's jump right into this. Here are the samples. So one of you out there is gonna win all 10 of these right here. I'll just start with this one, Amber Teutonic. We'll just kind of grab and go. And I am gonna go ahead and spray these out on the tester strip as I work through these. So when you receive this, whoever wins this, it will be missing a few sprays, but you'll still be able to give it a bunch of wear from each one of these. This one has fir, cardamom, opopanax, and cedar are some of the notes in the fragrance. And it smells fantastic. This one is actually one of my favorites from the bunch. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite, but it's up there. You got a little spice in here, little touch of fruity sweetness, but what this does so well, which is something that the house just does well in general, is it has a fantastic woodiness to it, and then resins as well. And for me, that's what DS and Durga does best. Woody fragrances with a lot of depth, with some darkness, with richness, and this one absolutely nails it. Now the fragrance is colored this kind of green coloration, and while there is a little bit of a green facet to the scent, it's not really what I would consider an out and out green fragrance, because when you say that, a lot of times people think of like really fresh and sometimes soapy, like a green soap. That's not this. The fir is the main note here, and it's pulled off expertly. Love that one, Amber Teutonic. Absolutely top 10 from DS and Durga for me. And I should say, this is not in any particular order. I'll let you guys know my absolute favorites when I get to them, but this is not in any particular order. Okay, the next one that I picked up here, Durga. This one is very different from what you're typically gonna find from this house. It's got a note of melon that you get right off the top, and it stays there through the life of the fragrance. Smells freaking awesome. There is also a note of chrysanthemum, and that is a floral note that you don't see used very often at all. And really, those are the two main notes that kind of work hand in hand throughout the lifespan of the scent. There's also tuberose in here and orris, so really, it's a floral fragrance with that melon kind of working together. It is not, of these bunch, the most masculine. I would say it's unisex. Some people might even think it leans slightly feminine, but it smells great. Okay, next up, Radio Bombay. This one is really good too. And this one also, a little bit more on the fresh side of things. Like I said before, DS and Durga a lot of times more well known for their rich fragrances, their more heavy fragrances, but this one is not. This one actually has a fantastic note of sandalwood and coconut. There's also ambergris in here. Smells fantastic, much fresher than a number of the other fragrances here, but still has a good amount of depth to it. That sandalwood is the main note, and the coconut really works together with it. So you have a little bit of this creamy nature coming out, some sweetness in there, and it comes across just very lively at the same time. Radio Bombay, absolutely worth checking out. Very, very good if you like sandalwood fragrances, and that little tropical touch from coconut is done very well. Next up, Bowmakers. This one I've talked about on the channel. Do own a full bottle of this one, and this one I would say in my top 3. There's mahogany in this, there's pine rosin, there's maple, and there is also an outdoors accord as some of the notes in this fragrance, along with the heavy dose of resins in there as well. This one is very woody. This is one of those fragrances made for people that love wood in scents that comes across as a more realistic wood. Not one of those modern woods where it's, you know, heavy on ISO E super and you know, cashmere and things of that nature. This one stands apart. As I said, that one of my favorites from the house easily. And that one I think absolutely is worth purchasing, especially if you love woodsy scents, which I do. Next up, we've got Burning Barbershop. I own a full bottle of this one as well. This one has lavender, mint, vanilla, and smoke as some of the notes in the fragrance. I mean, it's pretty much what it says, Burning Barbershop. It's supposed to have a lot of the facets from your more typical classical barbershop scents, but then it has this sort of smoky accord woven throughout. And I actually really like it. I'm a huge fan of fragrances that have smoky accords or birch tar or anything like that. I love it. If you don't like fragrances that do have kind of a smoky aspect to it, then it may not be for you. But if you want something that's going to give you that classic, gentlemanly kind of feel with a twist, check this one out. The lavender, especially, very prominent. The mint off the top, you can pick that up. Mingling with the smoke, you can pick the smoke up right away. Vanilla sweetness in it as it dries down. Next up, Mississippi Medicine. This one packs a punch. This one has cypress, birch, incense, and pine as some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one, oof, this one has, yeah, a real punch right away. It's the cypress, the birch, the pine, all right away. Very woody, almost like a little sap from the tree as well. Little bits of incense giving a slight smoky touch. This is really good stuff, but this is something that's gonna be maybe an acquired taste to some people. It's not the same at all, but it's a similar idea to Bowmakers, where you have that real woodsiness front and center. I would say between the two, this one might be a little more difficult to pull off than Bowmakers, but I think it smells awesome. I love it. This one probably in my top 3 as well. That one in Bowmakers, I love that kind of scent. I love that more realistic woodsiness, where sometimes you do get this kind of rough feeling around the edges. I really like that. I don't think that woodsy scents all the time have to be, you know, ultra modern, super clean. I mean, that absolutely has its place, but sometimes I want something that's got a little more, like I said before, oomph to it. Next up, Cowboy Grass. Oof, this is a good one too. This has vetiver, sage, and thyme. And this fragrance right here is actually the first one I ever bought from the house. Oh yeah, that's really good too. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I would actually put this just one slot ahead of Mississippi Medicine. Yeah, I think so. And that's because I'm a big vetiver guy. I love vetiver, and the vetiver is front and center here. It's fantastic. Got these herbal facets in there, the sage, the thyme, really supporting it, giving it more depth, giving it more life. Again, a little more realistic, a little more natural smelling, little touch of earthiness, a little bit of dirt, not too much. Really nice, grassy vetiver. A little bit dry as well. Good stuff. Yeah, I gotta put that just a little bit above Mississippi Medicine, actually. Next up, DS. So we've got Durga over here and also DS. Between DS and Durga, the fragrances, I prefer this one. Saffron, oud, lotus, rose, little vetiver in there too. Really pleasant, rich. Saffron, oud, and rose get used together all the time. So that's not really anything new, but all the supporting notes here kind of kicks it up a notch for me. The lotus especially gives it this nice additional kind of edge, this little floral facet that you don't normally get, because normally you would get the rose, like I said, with saffron and oud, but then the lotus kind of changes things up a little bit. Super good, very nice, high quality. That one, along with Durga, they're quite expensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 2 left. Let's see what we've got here. Amber Kiso. This one is my favorite. This one just blew me away the first time I smelled it. Absolutely something that's right up my alley. Just love it. I think this is awesome. Leather, hinoki, incense, cypress, maple. It's great. It really is great. It was released along with Amber Teutonic, but this one I feel like is a step above Amber Teutonic, and Amber Teutonic is great. The leather in here just really envelops everything else. The hinoki wood, which is a note you don't see used all that often. It smells fantastic. A lot of depth, a lot of richness. Little touch of incense, not too much smoke. The cypress and the maple give more depth to the woods in the fragrance. So you've got a lot going on, but it's blended together so well that you just keep going back to it over and over and trying to pick out little things here or there. This one, Amber Kiso, absolute love. That one's my favorite. That one's my favorite right now from the House of Dias and Durga. If you could try just one fragrance or buy just one fragrance, that would be the one that I personally would go for. And the last one here is Debaser. Whew, this is good. This one of the fresh ones is my favorite. This smells so good, so good. If you like fig. Ooh, that is good. Yeah, fig and coconut milk, two of the main notes here. And it's just so good. It's got a nice touch of sweetness. It is fresh, little green facets from the fig, the coconut working together with it perfectly. There's iris in here as well. There's tonka giving a little sweetness as it dries down, white woods, so clean woods. Ooh, that is good. If you're a fan of fig fragrances, check that one out. It is top notch. It is really, really good. The other fresher fragrances or fragrances that lean fresh that I've talked about here, those are very good as well. But if I could pick just one, it would be this one. All right, let's do the giveaway for these 10 right here, these samples. I'll go ahead and send this to one of you out there. In order to be entered, you have to subscribe to the channel, you have to like the video, and you have to comment below which of these 10 fragrances sounds the most interesting to you. Pretty simple. Roughly 10 days from the time this video goes live, I'll pick a winner via random comment picker and post that winner on the community tab of my YouTube channel. Then you can reach out to me, give me your information, and I'll ship these off to you. So you'll get these 10 right here. Then I also have some other samples from Dias and Durga, their other fragrances. I'll include those too. So you'll get a really, really nice sample kit where you can test out just about everything the house has to offer. And again, just a reminder, if you have a video request, something you want me to do, shoot me an email. It's in the description, my email address, and I will try to get to it. This one actually was requested quite a while ago, but got to it eventually. All right, guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.